absolutely fantastic. Now, there is some serious excitement in the studio, isn't it? There's a sort of gentle hum and buzz, because it is time now to welcome to the studio two lads who first appeared, can you believe it? They first appeared together 30 years ago. It's Ant and Dec.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
That was a nice intro.
Was it nice?
Yeah, very nice.
I did that professionally, yeah. We should do a job swap.
Good.
It's the most people we've had in the studio since March.
It's so weird, isn't it? It's weird that you're actually here. It's wonderful.
And I have to say, well done, guys, for keeping us all sane during the summer and being on air.
It's the team. It's the team. It's the
Thank you.
producers,
Yeah.
the
Well done, you
researchers. They're
guys.
doing a great job.
Yeah, it's been a funny, but in a way, a really good time as well.
Yeah.
So the book.
Yes.
30 years, making us all feel dead old. Once Upon a Tyne, and it's done. We were just talking now, as if it's a conversation where you two take us back through the last 30 years. It's a lovely read. It's really juicy. Lots of celeb goss in there, which I was loving.
Bit of mischief.
Exactly.
Always.
But, you know, you did this in lockdown, and it must have been really nice as two friends to sit down and kind of remember all the stuff and look back at really what you've achieved from Biker Grove all the way to, well, telly domination.
Well, we realised towards the end of last year that this would be our 30th year of working together. So we wanted to do something to mark it. So we came up with the idea of the book, and we sat down and we kind of started kicking some ideas around and made each other laugh a lot.
Because we're lucky to work on, you know, and have worked on some of the biggest shows, you know, some of the biggest entertainment shows on telly. So we've got good kind of backstage stories and, you know, just fun that we've had on those shows over the years. And we just put it all down. Bit of gossip as well, like you said.
Every
we love
chapter,
reading a bit of gossip.
Every chapter is a show or a period of our life, like being PG and Duncan and doing the music and
Oh, that was a period.
Well, that was a hilarious chapter. I was in the bath reading that one going, and, you know, at the heart of the book, obviously, is your friendship.
Yeah.
And, as you say, you go right back to Biker Grove. And there's one photo, and you do say in the book, now, this is used on every chat show. We're about to use it again.
Thank you very much.
But it's because it was really significant, because you realised, didn't you, at that point, that there was something, there was like a spark.
It was the first time we did a photo shoot together.
Look at
There it is.
And it was the
Look at
first...
those curtains.
I'm with the wrong way around. It's Dec and Ant, as it should have been, I think.
Just doesn't sound the same, does it?
It was the first photo shoot we'd done together, and and our characters had become really good friends, and PG and Duncan as characters became very popular with the audience. And so we kind of became a little bit of a double act on Biker Grove, and that's where it all really started.
And don't they sign you in ITV as Anton Dec or something?
Yes.
Because someone initially thought you were literally one person.
Yeah, they thought we were one person. We just signed a deal with
then?
ITV to be on ITV exclusively, and we went to have a meeting there, and they got our name wrong.
And we thought we walked into ITV going,
Hi, guys.
I'm going to be on ITV. You're gonna be... And we got a pass in, Anton Dec.
Brilliant.
I loved the book. I enjoyed it so much.
Thank you very much.
It's so fun, but it's also... I was kind of taken aback by how frank it is, and you guys are very, very honest about highs and about lows. And there was a moment a few years ago, Ant, where you thought maybe there might not be an Ant and Dec anymore, and you thought not just your partnership, but so much was coming to an end. Just take us back to that moment, because a lot of people will have read about it. Just tell us what that whole experience was like for you and how low things got.
Well, you know, when you take time out, you have a chance to look at your life, look at what's making you happy, look at what you can change. And, you know, I was going through quite a lot at the time, and it was the best decision to take time out of work, because that wasn't the most important thing. And I just had to get myself right, and then I did. And we spoke a lot as friends, you know, forgetting the career. And, you know, we just decided that the best thing to do would be just to get happy, you know, get well, and come back when I was better, and that's what we did, and, you know...
What was that like for you, Dec? Because, I mean, you know, you've known this guy so well for so long, and you go from being sort of just, you know, very good mates and professional partners. You know, what did you see your role as when he was going through that stuff?
It was an incredibly difficult time, and for me, you know, I just wanted to fulfil our obligations. I wanted to do the TV shows and keep them going. And then when the time was right, I knew we would sit down together and decide what the future was going to hold for us both. But it was a really uncertain time. Neither of us, or I should say both of us individually, went away and thought about what the future could hold and would hold and what we wanted it to hold. And ultimately, at the end of it all, we came and sat down together out of the glare of everything, and we sat down and we were very honest with each other. And we both realised that what made us happiest was being together and working together, and that's how we wanted to.
But was there a little while where you thought, actually, you might have to go solo?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
We both did.
We both were very unsure about, you know, what tomorrow would bring. And I didn't know if Ant was going to come back from his period away and go, do you know what? I want to go and be a pig farmer in Wales. I don't know why.
It does sound very good, though. I have to say, the freedomness is great.
But I didn't know if that's what he was going to say.
Yeah.
So, you know, none of us knew what the future was going to hold.
I guess
But I
different
tell you
pressures on both
what
of
it's
them at the
helped,
time.
though, is when you do come back together, and we have in the last year, you enjoy it more, you know? Because I don't think we've ever took it for granted, but there is points where you just go to work, you know? You get into that routine, and that enforced break made us kind of think about things, look at the importance of things. Then we got back and realised that we just love being together.
It's sort of like taking your vows again or something. It's like,
But when it came to writing the book as well, we kind of wanted to be very honest and open about that period and the thought processes that we went through. And we kind of we go into it about when we did the DNA show, the documentary we did. And we kind of we put it all down and talk about that period, about how uncertain things were, but ultimately we came back to.
And you talk about how incredibly hard you guys work, because behind the scenes there is a huge amount of effort that goes in, and you're not shy about asking for what you want some of the time as well, especially when it comes to talking to one Simon Cowell. And there's this amazing showdown. There's this amazing showdown you have with him. Just tell us what happened. What's in the book?
We flew to LA. We were on the way to Australia to do I'm a Celebrity, and we flew to LA, and Simon was in LA, so we decided to meet up with him. And we'd been unhappy for a little while about various things backstage and all of that. And we just felt like maybe the time was right for us to move on. We go into it in more detail in the book. But we went out for a meal with him and sat with him, and he was full of it going, I thought the last series of Britain's Got Talent was amazing, didn't you? And we went, no, not really. And we talked about leaving, and basically he said, right, you're never leaving. Don't even say that. It's never happening. And he made a few promises, and we managed to turn things around. And to be fair, things got much
a lot better
from that day.
However, we had the meal, right, and then we left the restaurant.
Oh, do we?
No. So,
go on.
Simon's got his Rolls-Royce Phantom outside, right? Long wheelbase, big old thing. He says, "Can I give you a lift back to the hotel?" We're like, "Yeah, of course."
That's his Simon Cowell
That's my Simon Cowell impression. So Simon gets in the car, sits down. I get in the back, sit down like this, and then Dec gets in the back and is like facing me like this, going like this at his bum. And then Simon, what the bloody hell are you doing? So he thinks it's like a black cab with a flip-down seat that you just can't flip down and sit there like this.
I'd never been in a Rolls Royce before, so I was looking down for the flip-down seat.
Sounds like, get in the front, Dec. But no, look, we wish him well as well. You know, I don't know if you've been watching.
You do say in the book that you are good mates as well, and he writes about you in the book like many people do. All of that's quite good as well. But there is one lady that we have to thank for bringing us Ant and Dec. And you mention her in the book.
I do.
Yeah, it's your drama teacher, Ant.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and you talk about it, didn't you?
Lynn Spencer,
she was quite an influence.
Yeah, she was a massive influence. In your life, you have people when you're younger that really instill confidence into you. And she was somebody that said to me, you know, you're good at this, you should follow this. And I did. And if it wasn't for her pushing me into acting, I wouldn't be here.
So she's the one to write to, folks.
And we were wondering, what would Lynn Spencer say about pushing Ant into that Biker Grove audition?
You don't have to say anything at this point.
So we tracked her down.
No. Did you?
Of course we did.
Good.
And we can speak to her right now.
Oh, wow.
Lynn.
Hey, Lynn.
Hi.
Hello, Mrs. Spencer.
How you doing?
What do you then remember, Lynn, about talking to Ant about going for that Biker Grove audition? Because, as we know, that's where it all started.
Well, actually, it goes back slightly before that, because a couple of years before that, because the BBC Children's Department asked me to put forward some talented students to audition for a new kids programme called Why Don't You? Remember that?
Oh, my God, I said that. Why don't you?
Well, young Anthony McPartland was an obvious choice because he was a shining star. He was talented in drama. Don't get too big-headed. He loved performing arts, and also he was a kind, funny, popular boy and a great team player.
And it was downhill from there.
But can I publicly say thank you to you for pushing me, because I wouldn't be here without you.
Of course. Lynn, thank you so much. Lynn Spencer has been an absolute inspiration to us.
The day before the audition, he wanted to pull out. He came and told me that he was too nervous. And, I mean, bless him. He was only 12, but, you know, he still had to go. So I had to use all of my powers of persuasion to get him there. But do you remember the conversation, Ant?
Yes, no, I remember why I wanted to pull out.
I tell you what, Lynn, I think you should take the credit for all the NTAs, all the BAFTAs. They basically should live in your house. We've run out of time, but thank you so much, Lynn.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And boys, thanks so much for being here tonight. It's really nice to have you in the studio.
It's lovely to be here.
The book is a triumph, honestly.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad
Once
you liked it.
Upon a Tyne it is. Great name as well. It's out tomorrow.